The message arrived at 1:47 in the morning. Stephen Normandin had been delivering packages for Amazon for 3 years. He knew the routes. He knew the buildings. He'd delivered in heat, in snow, in neighborhoods where people kept dogs loose in front yards. He had never been fired. Never been written up. Never spoken to a manager about a performance problem. Then an automated email told him his contract was terminated, effective immediately, for quality control issues and failed deliveries. Normandin had no idea what deliveries they meant. He asked for details. He asked for a human being to explain the decision. He got neither. Because the decision hadn't been made by a human being. Amazon doesn't directly employ most of the people who deliver its packages. It runs a program called Amazon Flex, a gig economy system where independent contractors use their own cars to make deliveries through an app. No fixed salary. No employee benefits. No union. Just a phone, a route, and a block of time called a shift block that you claim through the app and complete on your own schedule. The system works at enormous scale. Amazon Flex operates across hundreds of cities. Drivers pick up packages from Amazon warehouses or Whole Foods stores and deliver them to customers, typically in 2 to 4 hour windows. The app tracks everything: pickup times, delivery confirmations, customer ratings, GPS location throughout the shift. The appeal for drivers was real. Flexible hours. No boss standing over you. You could work around another job, around childcare, around whatever constraint shaped your week. Amazon marketed it that way: be your own boss, earn on your own schedule. What drivers often didn't fully understand when they signed up was the other side of that arrangement. Being your own boss also meant no protection. And the flexibility that made Flex attractive to workers made it legally bulletproof for Amazon. All of that data feeds into an algorithm. The algorithm evaluates driver performance continuously. It monitors delivery rates, return rates, customer complaints, the percentage of packages marked as attempted delivery versus confirmed delivered. It flags anomalies. When performance falls below certain thresholds that drivers cannot see and Amazon has never publicly disclosed, the algorithm generates a recommendation. Termination. For drivers who depended on Amazon Flex as their primary income, the system had an almost absurd quality: a black box, watching everything, accountable to no one, making decisions that could end someone's livelihood without warning, without explanation, and without any clear path to appeal. Normandin's story, reported by Bloomberg in 2021, became a reference point for understanding how the Flex system actually operated. After his termination, he called Amazon repeatedly. He sent emails. He tried every contact channel the app provided. The responses he received were automated, form letters referencing quality issues without specifics. When he finally reached a human representative, they told him they didn't have access to the specific data that had triggered the termination. The decision had been made by the system. He was not alone. Dozens of drivers interviewed by Bloomberg described the same experience: sudden terminations, automated notices, no explanation, no appeal process with any real authority. Some had been fired after customers falsely reported non-delivery on packages the drivers had clear photographic proof of delivering. The algorithm counted the customer complaint. It did not weigh the photo. Others were terminated after GPS anomalies, the kind generated by phone signal problems, building interference, or simple software errors. The algorithm registered the anomaly as suspicious behavior. Nobody reviewed it. One driver, fired after a customer filed a false complaint, submitted timestamped photos showing the package at the customer's door. Amazon reinstated her, but only after press attention. Without the visibility, she said, she believed nothing would have changed. The scale of this problem resisted easy measurement. Amazon would not disclose how many drivers were terminated through automated processes, what data triggered terminations, or what appeal mechanisms existed. When Bloomberg published its investigation, Amazon said it used a multi-factor process that included human review. Drivers said they never saw it. Take a moment to understand what this actually meant for the people involved. Normandin wasn't a bad worker. 3 years, no complaints. What he represented, along with the dozens of other drivers Bloomberg spoke to, was something the algorithm had no category for: a good worker who got caught in a bad reading. A customer who wanted out of paying for something, so they disputed the delivery. A GPS glitch in a downtown corridor with bad signal. A shift where a building's front door was locked and the driver marked the package as attempted, A legitimate outcome that the algorithm filed next to a pattern it didn't like. The algorithm didn't know the difference between fraud and a locked door. It didn't need to. Its job was to flag. And once flagged, the path to reinstatement ran through a process that was, in practice, designed to confirm the algorithm's decision rather than reconsider it. For drivers who had arranged their lives around flex income, supplementing other work, paying rent between other gigs, covering gaps in irregular income, a termination at 1:47 in the morning was not an abstract problem. It was rent. It was groceries. It was a gap in income that appeared without warning, without severance, without any of the legal protections that would normally attach to the end of an employment relationship. Because this wasn't an employment relationship. That was the point. The legal structure of the gig economy made the problem nearly impossible to challenge. Amazon Flex drivers are contractors, not employees. They signed terms of service when they downloaded the app. Those terms gave Amazon the right to terminate the relationship at any time, for any reason. There was no wrongful dismissal claim available to a contractor the way there might be for an employee. There was no HR department to file a grievance with. There was no union steward to call. What Amazon had built was a workforce management system with the legal structure of a software subscription. Cancel anytime, no explanation required. Drivers who filed complaints with the Better Business Bureau, the National Labor Relations Board, and state labor agencies found that the gig contractor structure put them outside most of the protections those agencies enforced. There was also a feedback loop nobody talked about. When a driver was terminated, the packages they would have delivered still needed to go out. Amazon's logistics network redistributed them to other drivers, who absorbed the work without comment. The system didn't register a disruption. From the algorithm's perspective, the termination had no cost. That means the system had no natural corrective pressure. Firing too many drivers too aggressively didn't create a measurable problem for Amazon's operations. So the algorithm had no incentive to be cautious. Normandin eventually got his account reinstated, after Bloomberg published his story. The drivers who weren't in Bloomberg's investigation did not have that option. Amazon, responding to the Bloomberg investigation, said it conducts human review before terminating drivers and provides a process for appealing deactivations. Drivers said the process, when it existed, was designed to confirm the algorithm's decision rather than challenge it. The broader issue the case exposed was structural. Amazon Flex was not exceptional, it was a template. Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, the gig economy runs on algorithmic management. An app watches you. A score tracks you. A threshold terminates you. The companies in the middle, the ones that design the system, set the thresholds, and collected the fees, are insulated from the consequences of individual decisions by the scale of the workforce and the legal architecture of the contractor relationship. In 2022, the European Union proposed the Platform Work Directive, rules that would require gig platforms to disclose how algorithmic management systems work, give workers the right to know what data was being used to evaluate them, and require human review of automated termination decisions. A weakened version passed in 2024. In the United States, no equivalent regulation exists. A driver in Ohio, in Texas, in California has essentially no legal mechanism to demand an explanation for why an algorithm ended their contract. They can appeal through the app. They can call a customer service number. They can send emails that will be answered by automated systems trained to de-escalate without resolving. What they cannot do, in any legally meaningful sense, is force Amazon to explain how its algorithm works, what data it used, or whether it made an error. The system was built that way deliberately. Not out of malice, but out of scale. Amazon processes more packages than any logistics system in history. Managing the workforce that delivers them through individual human decisions would be impossible at that volume. The algorithm isn't a bug. It's how the operation runs. The problem is that the people on the other end of those decisions are not operating at scale. They are one person. One income. One night when a message arrives and changes everything. Amazon processes more than 5 million packages a day. The algorithm that manages the drivers who deliver them makes thousands of decisions daily, about performance, about anomalies, about who continues and who doesn't. Most of those decisions will never be reported on. Most of the drivers affected will not have a journalist to call. The packages will still arrive. 2-day shipping. Next day shipping. Same day in some cities. The algorithm will keep running, keep watching, Keep making decisions about people's livelihoods based on data those people cannot see, through a process they cannot appeal to, inside a company that designed the system to be exactly that way. Normanden's account is still active. He's still delivering. He still doesn't know exactly what triggered his termination. Every day that you open the Amazon app and track a delivery, there is a person behind that moving dot. They picked up your package. They are navigating to your door. They are being watched, their speed, their route deviations, their delivery confirmations, by a system that will decide, based on patterns they cannot see, whether they work again tomorrow. Most of them are fine. The algorithm is satisfied. Until it isn't. The algorithm that fired him is still running. Here is the thing worth sitting with. The algorithm didn't set out to ruin anyone's life. It was optimizing for package delivery metrics. It was doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is what it was designed to do, and what it wasn't. It was designed to maximize delivery rates and minimize fraud. It was not designed to understand context. It was not designed to weigh 3 years of reliable performance against one bad week of GPS readings. It was not designed to ask whether the human on the other end of a termination notice could pay rent this month. It wasn't designed to care. And the company that built it, the one processing 5 million packages a day, the one that made $575 billion in revenue in 2023, decided that caring was not a feature it needed to build in. There are hundreds of thousands of Amazon Flex drivers in the United States right now. Each one of them is working under a system that can end their contract tonight, while they sleep, based on a pattern the algorithm flagged. Most of them don't know the details of how the system works. They accepted the terms of service when they downloaded the app. They clicked agree. What they agreed to, what the fine print actually said, was that a machine could decide their working life was over. So who is responsible for what happens when a system that doesn't care makes a decision that destroys something that matters? The algorithm can't answer that. No one at Amazon seems to be answering it either. If you think more people need to hear this story, share it. And subscribe, because this isn't the last time AI changes someone's life.